It's time for conversations. Who? What? How? Why?
Don't judge me until you know me. Don't underestimate me until you challenge me. And don't talk about me until you talk to me. Or better yet, mind your business and stop minding mine.
What will be today's conversation? Understanding viewpoints, educating, and stimulating discussions. It's time to connect to T-Horne, your host. It's time for conversations.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy T-Horne da Uncool, and welcome to another segment of Conversation with T-Horne da Uncool, which was truly T-Horne da Uncool. We got a great show planned for you guys tonight. We got we got a radio personality. We got some positives about people's health. We got some people coming in and talk about tax stuff and everything. We got a lot of stuff going on, and we're going to get straight into it with a couple of guests. Anthony Franklin from Swerve. We have Kiana with the Sickle Cell Foundation. We have Terrell Duckworth, and we're going to have a good show overall. So let's go ahead and get into it and get some of my guests on the screen if we could. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Oh, man, I can't even get the panel to be this active.
What's
How y'all doing? We all good tonight, y'all?
What's good?
Yep.
Okay, so with that being said, y'all know that tonight's podcast. Can everybody hear me?
Y'all can hear me? All right. Yeah, I hear you. Can y'all hear me good?
We got lots of going on, and we're gonna get straight into it with a couple of. We got some noise in the background. Everybody okay?
All right, I'm in.
All right, we all good?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Kiana.
Is my
Anthony,
face over the word?
Terrell. You speak at your mic's muted, Terrell.
Time, so bro, I'm double tapping. We got to get this dinner going. So, but I'm good. I'm here. I'm working.
Everybody's good.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, with that
I'm great.
said,
I'm great. How you doing?
Good. If you guys could, one at a time, I'd like to you guys introduce yourself. Starting with ladies first, Miss Kiana Long Hargett. Can you tell us a little about you?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kiana Long Hargett. I am the CEO and founder of the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association. I am an advocate. I'm an inspirer, and I am a motivator. I'm an aware of sickle cell in any community where there's no advocacy. So I'm glad to be on tonight.
Okay, cool. Good stuff. Next, we'll go to Anthony Franklin. Tell us a little about you, sir.
What's good, everybody? I'm Anthony. I'm living in Greenville, South Carolina right now. I hope everybody can hear me okay.
Yeah.
And it's going in and out a little bit, but I am the founder, CEO of Swerve Teen Talk Radio. My passion is for teens to get them to open up about the things that they struggle with and encouraging other men to also take that step forward and just be brave in Christ. That's who I am.
Okay, cool. And Terrell, give us a little bit of info about you.
Oh, yes, sir. So my background, retired military, United States Air Force, 23 years here, 2019. I rolled out. My lovely wife served for 11 years. And during that time, we actually embarked upon a company called Legal Shield. And the main part of what we do is we help protect you personally, right? Or your small business. Because we don't want you to be victim to companies taking advantage of you, right? Whether it's on the personal side or on the business side. We also offer identity theft because look, you got to protect your identity. You did what you did to keep your name good. Well, guess what? You want to keep it safe. Not just you, but even your kids. Because if you don't realize that people going after your kids before they even turn 18. We also product for truck drivers, small business owners, a slew of things. I mean, you may get into tonight, we may not, but don't worry about it. Reach out to me. You got my information on there. With that said, I'll turn back here over to you.
Okay, so the whole point of tonight's podcast is positive highlights. I do this every now and then because I want to take people's businesses, people's ideas, people's things they imagine and creatively come up with, and try to highlight those things. And you guys are on here because you guys are all doing positive things in the community. So I want to take time to highlight each one of you and go into, why you do what you do, how it started, and get information out so people know what you guys just work track going on. So Kiana Long, Miss Kiana,
Yes.
I want to start with you first because I got introduced to you from you were watching a podcast I did a couple of weeks back, and you had so many comments, so many things to say. But the stuff you were saying, it wasn't bad stuff. It was actually very informal things that were beneficial to what the conversation was about. And you have a lot of positive things to say. So I reached out to you, and then I found out about your corporation with the sickle cell. So if you could give us a little bit about how you started, your purpose behind doing what you're doing, and things you may need going forward that may help support what you have going on.
I got started in 2009. I was a teacher here in Volusia County Schools, and I had done some good things as a teacher, but I felt like I wasn't doing enough. And so we have something called a penny saver. So I was like, I want to do something else. I was looking through the penny saver. I remember it was February 2009, and I saw a position that said lead case manager at the Volusia County Flagless County Sickle Cell Association. So I said, I'm going to get that job. I had never been a case manager. I just wanted to jump into it. I interviewed, got the position. As soon as I walked into the door, I had 108 clients. The owner there, she told me the story of sickle cell. I didn't know anything about it. And I didn't even know how close it hit home to me. So dealing with that, dealing with the people, going to their homes, being an advocate for them, like realizing how big this really is. Like this is such a big adventure for me, and I love it so much. Well, that individual, she passed, and it wasn't a legacy left behind. And so what I did was I picked up the torch, and I started from scratch. Started my own nonprofit 501c3 Sickle Cell Association. Not only did I do the counties here around me, but I picked up all the counties north that have no sickle cell awareness. I picked up counties in the state of North Carolina, in the state of New York. So anywhere there's no advocacy, I choose to go there and do something about it.
So let me ask you this: for people who don't know, because a lot of people are kind of oblivious, and I want to say ignorant, but they just don't know when it comes to what sickle cell actually is. So what is sickle cell? You can explain it for the people viewing tonight.
Yeah, sickle cell is an inherited blood disease, and it is predominantly in the African American and Hispanic cultures. People think it's a myth that it's only a Black disease. It is a disease, but nothing you can catch. It comes through your blood, and the only way you get it is through the traits of your parents. So your mom has a trait, your dad has a trait. There's a 1 in 4 chance that you will have the disease. And that's just a statistical chance. It's a gamble because I've known people where all the children have had the disease. I've known where one child had the disease, another child had nothing. So it's almost like a numbers game. But the education is, if you know you have the trait, please make sure you do not hook up with someone else that has the trait, because that is prone to give the baby the disease.
So what are some of the symptoms of sickle cell? Like how would you know that you had it? Like,
so the thing for the disease is, if you'll know it as a baby, the actual anemia, because you have symptoms as early as a baby. Your hands are swollen, your feet are swollen, you're crying a different cry. So we know cries when babies are hungry, maybe they're wet, but it's another cry when a baby is in pain, because even babies get droplets of morphine when they have sickle cell because of the excess pain. So if it's in your family, because they stopped testing for it in 1988, it was not a mandated test. But if it's in your history, then you can ask to get it tested. If it's not in your history, say you're adopted and you don't know if you have the trait, because if you have the anemia, you will know by the time you're 2, you will know, but you may not know you have the trait. I know people in my age group in their 40s are just finding out they have the trait. So some examples of you might know in growing up, if you got really tired in PE, you got tired quicker than anyone else. You go up a set of stairs as a teenager and you're just like out of wind. You can't hardly breathe. Those are some examples of you possibly having the trait.
Okay. So I know you said about swelling in your hands, a lot of pain and stuff like that and everything. I actually want to invite you back on, Kiana, because I actually want to do a podcast based simply on diseases that are common in the African American community, and try to give awareness to a lot of our viewers and a lot of people who may not have or even be African American. If you know people and stuff like that can deal with that stuff, so we can get awareness, we can get cures, we can get if there's not cures, we can get ways to deal with stuff. I hear a lot of things about sickle cell. I hear a lot of things about HIV and AIDS. I hear a lot of things about diabetes. I hear a lot of things about scoliosis. A lot of things that the African American community, high blood pressure that they deal with, but they don't know how to, combat these things and live longer and healthy lives. So let's believe I'm gonna invite you on when I do that segment. When it comes to your business, how can viewers or people who see this podcast support you and help build what you have going on?
I did share it with all of my pages, so they can click on one of the pages that I shared it with, and they can reach out to me. I'm very open. I'm a people person. It doesn't matter how you reach me via social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on Instagram with my sickle cell as well as personal. You can reach out to me if you're in the hospital. You can call me. I'll talk to a doctor no matter what state it is. I'll call the hospital and advocate on your behalf. If you don't have advocacy, I'm connected to doctors in Orlando and different parts of Florida where I could get an advocate that's in training or has been trained to know how to advocate correctly. And so I will put them in touch with them. I'm a case manager in this. I'll make sure I follow up with them to make sure whatever they need to be done can get done.
Okay. All right. Well, I look forward to getting that information, getting you out and everything. And you definitely will be invited back on to speak on the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association. Now, I'm kind of embarrassed because when we first started talking, I was calling you Levi. I thought Levi.
And I didn't want to correct you.
I was thinking Levi was your name. I'm like, oh, it's kind of weird for a girl named Levi, but it is what it is. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came up with the name of the association?
Yeah, so in 2009, after I worked in there, the advocacy was left. In 2014, I woke up 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was on my heart so bad, like I got to do something. So I got on my computer and I started Googling, different things I could do to get it started. And I was thinking of a name because a lot of times with sickle cell, it's in the actual area that the person is, and it's created by someone else. It's a state mandated program, and it gets the name from the city or state that it's in. Well, this was me creating it, and I didn't want a name like that. I wanted to go all over the world. So the Lord laid on my heart to name it after my grandfather, Levi Long. So that's what I did.
Well, that's what's up. That's what's up. We're going to try our best to get the most support as you can. But let's move on to the next person at hand who seems to be having the problem sitting down. We ain't going to send our names. I think he can give us a tour of his whole house by now. But
I know. Ain't that right? Let me get out of witness protection. Okay, there we go.
So, real, Mr. Dutler, how you doing, sir? You all right?
Oh yeah, man. Sorry, man. I was just finish up cooking that salmon. Trying to keep it healthy. Okay. Ain't always on point, but every once in a while I got to switch it up, right?
I got you. So, Mr. Terrell, I know me and you, we've been supposed to meet up for a while. I've been kind of busy with a lot of stuff now. It's gonna happen. But I promise it's gonna happen one day. But with that being said, tell us a little bit about your corporation, your business, and what you do, sir.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Before we get to that, also make sure for the people who watch in the future who may have some military background, I do incorporate that too, if you could.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said in my intro, the company I work with is called Legal Shield, right? And we offer 2 products. The first one is the legal side of the house, and the other one is ID Shield, which is protecting your identity, right? And I look at, especially in our community, I'll be honest with you. When I talk about ID Shield, people's ears tend to go from listening 9 when I talk about the legal, then they go down to about 3 or 4 when they talk about identity theft. When actually we should be at 11 or 10. I'm gonna tell you why. Because look, a lot of their communities get doubt, benefit of doubt. We get doubt. Here's what I mean. If you're a law-abiding citizen, you should be paying attention to what I'm saying right now. people are actually going to jail because they're taking your good name that you work so hard to build on, your reputation. They're using your information, showing up to court, and with your information, and then when they got to come back to for the hearing, they're not showing up. So guess who they got a bench warrant out for?
It's
You.
us. Yeah.
And you think they're gonna believe us when they say, what do most criminals say? It wasn't me. Right? So let's not look, let's keep it 100, right? This should be this should almost be over the legal plan because you shouldn't want that. Look, there was a guy that actually, I shared two different stories. One person that didn't have it. There was a young lady, she lived up somewhere up north, right? She didn't have the service, and she got a knock on the door. Cop said, "Hey, we're looking for so-and-so. Is this your name? Is this your address?" She said, "Yes, it is." So you need to come with us. She said, "What's going on?" "We got a warrant for your arrest." She said, "Let me see it." She read it. She said, "Oh, I see what happened." She said, "This is in Texas. I've never been in Texas." I said, "Ma'am, that doesn't matter." She thought I was just going to go resolve it, go downtown, and, maybe a couple hours, maybe 3 hours at the most. Family, she was in there for 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Because here's the thing. They don't know, even if it's not you, they don't know if you're in on it. All they know is got a name and a database, right? She was in there for 3 days. Now, I'm going to flip the story. Now, this is even wilder. Now, there's somebody with it. Young man had his identity stolen with somebody went across 4 different states, committed 87 felonies in one guy's name.
Wow.
Now, it normally takes 2 years, about $1,800. Go Google it. You ain't got to trust me, to clear identity theft. Between Legal Shield and ID Shield, they cleared his name in 3 weeks with no out-of-pocket expenses.
Wow.
Which life do you choose? Right?
Right.
Look, I get it. I don't want to pay extra for anything. Look, I don't even want to pay extra for a ring or ADT. But for the protection of my family, what is your family worth? And what I always tell people, you can tell me it's the cost. It ain't the cost. It's called priority. Let's be honest. Let's keep it honest. I got a family of 5, brother. I can't feed my family of 5 under $30 at McDonald's, right? Even a dollar menu ain't a dollar menu, right?
Right.
So to me, it's not about money. What's you say?
Dollar menu even exist no more this time of age.
Right. Now, I do have a sad story on identity theft real quick, if you don't mind. I had a young lady. She's 90 years old, right? She actually ended up having a service. Her daughter told her, said, "Look, my mom's going to keep the legal plan, but she's going to let the ID Shield go because nothing's going to happen. She's 90 years old. She's not worried about that kind of stuff." That was in February. June of that year, her mom called me and said, "Mr. Duckworth, I got a problem." I said, "What's going on?" She said, "I went down to the DMV to renew my license. They said I couldn't." I said, "Well, why is that?" She said, "There was 2 tickets in my name." She said, "Baby, I ain't got a ticket in 20 years. And she said she asked them where they got the tickets at. Guess what state? Yeah, you guessed it, Florida. We always mess people up. You already knew it's Florida. I ain't have to really ask y'all. Y'all know what time it is. But what's the point? She said, "Ma'am, I can't issue a license till you get these tickets cleared up." See, if she would have had our service, the identity specialist would have not only notified her, they would have solved the crime and then routed over to Legal Shield. Legal Shield would have cleared her name. Now, I'll say this on Legal Shield real quick, and I don't know what other questions you have, but I'm going to say this real quick because there's so much I can talk about Legal Shield, but I know that's not what we're all about tonight. But one thing I want to focus on, because Kiana's talking about sickle cell, well, guess what? Guess what we need to get done? I will. Or even a trust. If you're a member of Legal Shield, guess what? You get your will done at no additional cost. I just talked to a lady. She tried to get a will done in Georgia 3 weeks ago. Went to 3 different attorneys. Guess what they told her? $3,000, $1, $4,000, $1, $5,000. Our membership costs $1 a day. She could have got it done. Look, watch this. I don't recommend this, but I know I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna keep it real. She could have signed up for our service, got a will done, paid $1 a day, paid for just 1 month of service. Just say $37.95, right? She could have got it done, canceled the plan, and still walked away without paying thousands of dollars. Now I don't recommend that because guess what? Legal problems happen all the time. And this is my final story. I'm buying a house. I asked them on my credit report pop up for $4,500. Not only did it pop up on my credit report, it was on it for $4,500, and they threw it on the debt collection to add insult to injury. Anybody in real estate and in finance, y'all know what I'm talking about. Imagine trying to buy a house with that on your credit report of a loan that you supposedly didn't pay for since 2019. Because of this service, they not only called with me on the through a phone call to call the company that lied and said they're going to send me some in 30 days because they played around. I routed it over to Legal Shield, talked to the attorney wrote a letter. Within 30 days, the attorney sent that letter. I got a notification that said you have a debt collection removed for $4,500. Bam, that could have stopped me from buying a house.
Wow.
So all I'm saying is y'all can play around and y'all can do what you got to do. But here's what I know. I got 99 problems, but legal ain't one. With that being, sir, I don't know what else you want to talk about, but I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay. So questions. Got to ask questions. So I was going to ask, how much are these services? But you really killed it with that by saying it's $1 a month. I mean, $1 a day. I'm sorry, not $1.
Right.
But $37.95 rounded out per month, right?
Yes.
So with that being said, what all comes with this service?
So number one, you get consultation, right? I know some people say, well, I can go to the attorney and get a consultation. You can. But if it's free, trust me, you probably can find it on the internet. He ain't work hard. If he giving it to you for free, he giving it to you for free for a reason. He can't build his business off of giving you good, solid information. So consultation. Second thing is contract and document review. I'm buying my house right now. Every contract, every piece of paper they're putting in front of me, I'm spending $475,000. I don't have time for a $475,000 mistake. So I'm sending all my documents in so I don't make a mistake. Because that happened to one of our people. They sent the contract in, they found a mistake. The company got so nervous, they actually gave them $32,000 in free upgrades to their home. See, they give y'all regular treatment. I get next level, right? I already talked about the wheels, right? You talk about contracts. They review that. Here's what people don't understand. Companies don't want y'all to have this. Let me tell y'all a secret. Companies don't want you to have this because they don't want you to review on that contract. They want you to be in ignorance. That way they can take advantage of you. But here's the thing. T. Most contracts are written up by an attorney. So you're using their attorney to make a final decision, but do you wonder how did you end up in this position? We got people paying 29% for a car loan. I guarantee if they ran that past an attorney, they would never sign that, right? Then they got 24/7 coverage. What do I mean? You know I'm Miranda rights. We got right to remain silent, right to call an attorney. But what's the point of having that right when you can't call an attorney, right? See, my brother is an attorney, but I can't call my brother at 3 a.m. and expect him to pick the phone, but I got 24-hour access. Look, I'll give you a quick example, and then I'm getting ready to wrap up. My daughter got in an accident because you can't call me got an accident. She got in an accident, and the attorney got on the phone before the cop came over to the scene, right? The attorney said, ma'am, if you would have said this story like that, not only could you incur extra fines, but your insurance company could have denied you coverage if you told a story like that. Because whatever you say can be used against you in a court of law. And don't think that officer's your friend because he's recording. That saved my daughter time and effort. Or she's being pulled over by the cops. Like one young lady, she got through a traffic stop. The attorney was on the phone before the cop got to the driver's side door. The cop wanted her to step out of her vehicle. Y'all want to know why? Because her tail light was out. He wanted to make sure everything was okay. Tell me y'all think that's a good reason. Right? But because she was on the phone with the attorney, not only did she not step out of the car, the cop suddenly didn't have any questions. See, what this does is it put the injustice in a bottle. People say they want to record injustice. I say, what if we can avoid injustice? I got access to over 6,900 attorneys in any state, in any area of law. Don't mess with me. Which one you want to talk to today? I got a legal attitude. With that being said, that's just a few things we offer. If you want to know more, I can go through a whole presentation for you.
Okay, it's good stuff. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. You got the gift of gab. You got me wanting to sign up for the Legal Shield. You know what I'm saying?
I'm passionate, bro. I believe this. I use my plan. 22 years strong right here. 22 years of using this service. I've avoided a lot of things I should have fell victim to, but I'm not a victim because I got access, like the wealthy do.
Gotcha.
Without paying wealthy prices. But anyway,
you said $1 a day, 37.
Yes, sir. $37.95. Cover your whole family, your kids up to age 26. Yeah, I know. Why your 26 years need a legal plan? Guess what? Things happen to them, right? You get that call, Mom and Dad, you won't believe what happened to me today. Yes, I can. What did you do?
Gotcha. Well, as it says at the bottom, we're gonna take a quick break, right quick, guys. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I need to get some things in order myself. I rushed into the show. I'm not my zen. When we come back, I'm gonna be my zen, T-Horne, stuff like that. We're gonna talk about with Anthony Franklin about Swerve and stuff like that, which I'm really excited to get into. And also, if you guys have questions, want to talk more, we'll talk about you guys too, because I want to talk more about, Legal Shield. I want to talk more about Levi Long Sickle Cell, and I'll promote what you guys got going on. With that being said, we're gonna take a commercial break, and we'll be right back. All right.
All right.
Compelled to the highways and byways, Luke 14:23. ANGB presents the 2025 Acceptance Tour. Join us in Kingsland, Georgia, April 11th through the 13th. Friday night, 7 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. Authors, workshops, health, wellness, shopping, and fun. Enjoy a movie presented by Sister Batten Productions. We'll be at 1313 East King Avenue in Kingsland, Georgia. For more information, call 407-914-6519. That's 407-914-6519. A conversation with Mama.
Many will come on this segment and they will come because they need to have a conversation with their mama.
Amen.
A Conversation with Mama is a series of episodes that discuss different topics that are important to you. Standing on God's Word and the Scripture as found in Proverbs 31:26. Now it's time for today's episode of A Conversation with Mama. Sundays at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Compelled to the highways and byways, Luke 14:23. ANGB presents the 2025 Acceptance Tour. Join us in Kingsland, Georgia, April 11th through the 13th. Friday night, 7 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. Authors, workshops, health, wellness, shopping, and fun. Enjoy a movie presented by Sister Batten Productions. We'll be at 1313 East King Avenue in Kingsland, Georgia. For more information, call 407-914-6519. That's 407-914-6519.
Ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody harder than. Ain't nobody harder than me. 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 Ain't nobody. I do them hard things, do the wrong things. That's called steam. Why me? I serve my God King. Cause ain't nobody. Every time I come around, now you're going to see. Got uncool boy by the name of T. And that's not just something that I choose to be. That's just what God requires of me, to be lame forever. So uncool. Been that way since I was in school. See, I never been one to really break the rules. When I did, I just looked like a fool. Ha! When it comes to God's word, I heed that. From the gin to the real, I believe that. Yo, I'm just spitting out. Every tongue proclaim. Hey, yo, man, the king back. Hey, man, when I go for God, I swear I go so so hard. Harder than some nerdy kids throwing off Pokemon cards. So here I am to represent, got a Superman. I'm Clark Kent, I'm Kal-El. Can I exhale until the spirit inside is propelled? And I will tell it better Emmanuel, cause I'm trying to keep you from hell. Fire burn, no wells, skin burn, bad smell. The problem is this don't fit in. Sometimes do get caught up in my sin, but I go to God and I just repent, and I'm back to serving the Lord again. It seems I had to come and take your boys to school. The message that you learned today came from T-Horne da Uncool. Ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody. I do them hard things, do the wrong things. That's called steam. Why me? I serve my God King. Cause ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody. I do them hard things, do the wrong things. That's called steam. Why me? I serve my God King. Cause ain't nobody.
I'm hardcore, no encore, not Jay-Z. I'm crazy, going hard for my God King. Cause first so it's just a servant, no title. Read your Bible, hope you don't have no rivals. If you do, I kill bars and I murk tracks. I'm not a star, no fame, I'm so lame. I'm not sane when it comes to faith. I am chained cause I am saved, and I'm going hard for amazing grace. Uncool, straight goon when it comes to this ministry. I'm baptized in blood ball, ain't nobody harder than me.
Before this world was created, God created a beat. He blew his breath up in my lungs, and that creation was me. He say go hard, spare nobody, bind out, fear nobody. Turn up for my sake, in my name, tell everybody, cause I go hard. Team Jesus fell down, but no scars. Push me, I push back hard. I can't kill me, I'm a king's daughter. I'm rapping on top, they ain't ready for it. Lock me up, I'm like Peter's story. For God I live and for God I die. I'm front line and call me a soldier.
Ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody. I do them hard things, do the wrong things. That's called steam. Why me? I serve my God King. Cause ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody harder than me. Ain't nobody. I do them hard things, do the wrong things. That's called steam. Why me? I serve my God King. Cause ain't nobody.
The boy woke up and jumped out the casket, full of new life, so you know I had him. Drop a little spirit on the beat. People like, what's that burn? I bring that heat, this fire ain't just flame. While you ain't sitting down playing on your video games, I'm in the streets, screaming his name. I'm in these streets, flipping my cane. You ain't never gonna say I don't go hard when it comes to talking about my God. I remember when I hit them rocks, bags in my mouth, bags all in my socks. Now I'm feeding nutrition, bread and water gonna keep you living. Now I'm pushing nutrition all because my Lord is risen. Let's go.
Ain't nobody harder than my God. I'ma rep his name, lift his name higher than the mountain. Man, I rep the cane, marching, stepping like a soldier in the army of the Lord, living life according to abundance. Man, on one accord, hands up to the sky, praise his name, amazing. He died on that cross, but he rose for you and me. Never be ashamed. Romans 1:16. Ain't nobody harder than my God, and his name supreme, holy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Conversations with T-Horne da Uncool. As you can see, I had to go back and get my Zen right and everything. I had to get out of my work clothes for the day, get my lighting right and everything. But now I feel like my normal self. I feel like I'm in the flow. I feel like I'm in the Conversations with T-Horne da Uncool mood, and we can keep it going now. So we can get back to the show real quick before we pull our guests back on and everything. My producer surprised me just now during the break. She played one of my songs, and I didn't expect that. I haven't heard that song, my songs, in so long. For those who are interested, that song just playing through the break was There Ain't Nobody Harder remix. There's an original to that, but we took it a step further. I got a couple of my friends who I did Christian hip hop with, and we, came with Ain't Nobody Harder remix, and it ended up being a great mix. So if you are interested in maybe hearing that music or maybe purchasing or supporting that, you go on YouTube, and the same page is playing on YouTube now, youtube.com/@T-Horne_DA_Uncool. Or, you can go on DistroKid. It's on, what are these streaming services called? Babe, what's the streaming service that play all the music? Yeah, you the only babe I got. What's the streaming service that play the music? Is it Spotify? Spotify. It's on that. What's another one? Pandora is on that. What else? Apple Music, yeah. All them streaming services, you can find T-Horne da Uncool music. Y'all don't laugh at my ratchetness, my ghetto-ness. This is how me and my wife is and everything. But with that being said, let's get back to the show and bring my guest back on if we could. Hey y'all.
Hey,
Y'all, excuse, I don't know if y'all saw that. Y'all,
anybody harder than me? Anybody harder than me? I remember that, dude. We used to be in the same spots performing that stuff. Come on, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That brought nostalgia for me. I haven't heard that song forever. But believe it or not, I don't listen to my music at all. So when people play it, I'm like, dang, I did make that song, didn't I? That was good. That was crazy. But yeah, man, that brought back some nostalgia, and it's positive highlight. So I guess Angie thought it was good to highlight the music as a positive highlight. But I appreciate that, Angie. Love you for that. But let's continue on. So we've talked with Miss Kiana about the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association. She has some great information about that. If you need more information about that, we will talk about it more at the end of the show. We talked to Mr. Terrell Duckworth and Legal Shield, and he's made me realize I need to invest in Legal Shield too, because I don't really copy no mumbo jumbo because somebody using my name for identity fraud. So, so we definitely need to get into that. But now we're gonna go into talking about Swerve Radio with my dear friend Anthony Franklin. So just a little backstory before we get into Anthony and stuff like that. That song, Ain't Nobody Harder. Years ago, I was really big. I used to be a big independent Christian hip hop rapper. I rapped all over the city, all over the state, different states and stuff like that, and I was really into it. There's this group when I first started doing Christian hip hop called Crucified Saints that I heard back in the day. It was for me. It was Crucified Saints. It was Camp Quest. It was Petty D. These guys back in the day inspired me to do Christian hip hop, and Anthony Franklin was actually one of the members of Crucified Saints that I listened to back in the day. So when I met him, you know what I'm saying, in real life, it was a big thing for me. And now he's doing this thing, with Swerve Radio and stuff like that. So Anthony, tell us a little bit about you, how you got started, what you do and everything, and how we do support what you got going on.
Man, it's a blessing to be on the platform first and foremost. It's a big deal for me to come back around and see individuals still relevant because so many people are falling off. And it just says a lot, man, about your character. It says a lot about what people think about you. It says a lot about even our producer, Angie B. She does that to me a lot as well. She plugs us in, and so it says a lot about your music, your craft, who you are, what you represent. So for me, I'm gonna try not to go so far back, but with Crucified Saints, it was me, my homie Anthony Rome, Tony Threat, the Human Torch. We had a DJ, and so hip hop was my thing, man. Hip hop is what I did. I was a producer, make beats. I did it in church, and they told us we couldn't rap in church, but you had your teens getting pregnant in church. You had your teens chiefing out in church. You had your teens just not making it into church, but we couldn't rap, for Jesus and try to find a common connection with our teenagers or whatever, So I rebelled, and I went into the military. And in the military, I was in a group called Divinity, and I was over in Japan. And so we got all the latest technology in Japan, Korea, Singapore. And we had a little movement going on over there I guess that's the West Coast, Westpac, Western Pacific. Fast forward, I got out the military, came to Jacksonville, Florida. There was a big movement in Jacksonville, Florida for hip hop. And I ran into Petty D, met my man Petty D. And we found studios, and we just started networking and communicating with people. I met my friend Anthony Rome, Tony Torch, in church. And I heard him freestyling. I heard him rapping. I hadn't heard anybody rapping since I had set foot in Jacksonville. And so I was like, man, what you know about lyricism and rapping and stuff? And so he turned around and we started battling in church. And so we just had a moment. And I think a week later, it was like, man, what you think about just starting a group and doing some things? And so we thought we were the first ones in Jacksonville actually doing it. And like I said, again, we ran into Petty D, Camp Quest, so many other artists. And so fast forward again, man, it's just been so many artists like yourself, T-Horne, that we met. I'm not going to get in trouble trying to name everybody because I can't remember everybody. But we had a really good run. Yeah. We had a really good run at it. But doing that led me into youth ministry and teen ministry. I'm one who struggled with depression and rejection, and I had a suicide attempt. So going through all of this stuff and doing hip hop, I was masking a lot of pain. It allowed me to step on many stages and just try to and kind of transform into this ultimate being to hide me from the little kid that was still hurting. There's a saying, a quote that says, "Whatever you don't take care of as a youth, it will kill you as an adult." So here I am, 25, 26, and I'm still dealing with 15-year-old problems and everything. It messed up relationships, marriages. I wasn't able to commit, intimacy issues, so many things that I dealt with because of what I dealt with as a young man. And I carried those things into my adulthood, hurting people, not knowing who I am, not loving myself correctly, availing myself to all kind of just situations and things because that's what messed with me as a teen, and I never dealt with it becoming an adult. So I got into ministry, public ministry, and that's the one thing I'll say even about pastors, even right now, where you hear many of them committing suicide, having affairs on their wives, and that's because there's things as youth that they didn't take care of. And so the biggest part of my ministry, I started the radio program after I aged out doing hip hop. You can't be doing hip hop and being 40 and 50 years old, so many of us are. But
I got 3 more years. Okay, I got 3 more years. 3 more years. I got 3 more years.
3 more years? Man, you better knock it out. Right? You better knock this out. You better go hard.
Right.
But man, the Lord dealt with me about seasons. And that's another thing, man, with anything you do, there's seasons for these things. And you got to be willing to shift. Life is shifting. And I had to be willing to shift. I didn't handle the shift so well because I love music. I love the sales. Who was making, we had a fan base, and so I love those things. And we had a really nice fan base and a fun run. But I was the youth pastor at my church in Jacksonville, and the Lord was showing me these teens that's hurting that was just like me. I had a responsibility to them because they were always around me. I didn't want the calling. I didn't want to be a youth pastor, but wherever I went, they were around me. And so I was put into the position to become the youth pastor at my church. Shout out New Covenant Ministries. And so in the youth ministry, they wanted a radio program. I went home, brainstormed, and we came up with the name Swerve. It was an acronym, but Swerve, motivating teens to take a positive route. Within that, with me doing my hip hop run, I was able to reach back to many of the artists that I ran into. I played your music on the radio program, so many other artists on the program. And so Swerve was kind of twofold. It was for the music for independent artists that were struggling, that wasn't signed to major labels. But then it was also for our teenagers to get them connected to better music, motivation, spiritual motivation, better dealing with the things that youth go through, depression. Can I go to my prom? Can I dance? Is it okay to listen to secular music? Suicidal attempts. We were dealing with all of that stuff. And so 10 years later, man, we're still running. Swerve is still running, but it is now a bigger umbrella. Again, seasons and shifting. Swerve Media and Graphics is a photography business that I have as well, where I do photography and media, videography. The biggest thing with me doing photography and videography with Swerve and it relating to teens is getting teens to see themselves on the other side of who the devil has said they are, that they are depression, that they are not good enough. And so we set up these video shoots. Matter of fact, it was a week or so ago, I did a Sweet 16 party for this young lady at my church. Easter would be a year that I've been at my church. When I came, I saw this young lady and she had her hair in her face. I've never seen her eyes, never seen her face, never seen her eyes because of the trauma from her family. So her mom asked me to do the Sweet 16. They saw my video work, my photography, and I was like, yeah, sure. I'd love to do it. My main goal was to get this young lady to smile. I wanted to see her eyes. And we got there and I walked past the young lady because she was all made up. And I was like, well, where's the birthday girl? Turned back around and saw the birthday girl. She was all made up, had her hair pulled back, and I instantly started crying. I got my camera out and I said, let's do a photo shoot. That photo shoot blessed her so well. She don't wear her hair on her face. She got her hair put, she has her makeup on and everything. She's 16 years old. But that's the reason I like to do Swerve. That's why I like to do the media. That's why I like to do photography. It's not for exploitation. It's not to get the biggest deal. I know my why. I know my reasons for doing photography. I know my reason for doing hip hop. I know my reason for doing the radio. My whole reason is to get these teenagers, is to get these teens. If you ever find Anthony Franklin doing anything other than that, then Anthony Franklin is out of the will of God. Anthony Franklin is going to be, uh, um, he's going to be stretched out. He's going to be stressed. And so many people want me to do so many other things, man. I'm like, no. I got 3 things that I'm cut out to do: video, photography. I mean, there's so many more. Teens. It's all up under Swerve. Men's ministry. I went through a divorce, broke my heart, and I had to learn from that. Because my ex, we're still great friends. We're still great friends to this day. We don't talk as much. We don't do as much, but we had to go through a process of healing. And when I went through that divorce, they let me see that 15-year-old boy again. That stuff was reemerging. I had to heal. So I got back into the space of men, talking to men. I have a men's podcast called The Men's Initiative, and we talk about that stuff. Why did I have to go through a divorce? Why did infidelity have to happen? Why did this have to happen? There's reasons for all of this stuff, people. And a lot of it, I think, will be the same as we were, the same bad people, the same people that's not willing to shift. If our grounds don't get agitated, we'll still be the same bad, dumb people doing the same dumb stuff if we don't go through a season of shifting. And it's sad to say that sometimes we may have to get out of a marriage. We may have to end a rap career. We may have to end certain things so that God can get the best out of us. And I can truly say right now, 5 and 6 years later, this is probably the purest, best form and version of me that has ever showed up in my 52 years of living.
Wow.
That's what Swerve is all about. That's what Swerve does. That's what Swerve has done for many people, for my teenagers that was 13 then, and they're 25 and 30 years old now, and they're living their best life because Swerve somehow impacted their life. It don't get no more better than that.
That's great. That's awesome. And I can actually back up everything you're saying, because like I said, me for a good little while. Like, you met me back in my early 20s when I was just starting out doing Christian hip hop and everything. I was starstruck when I met the Crucified Saints. But over my time, because I saw go from the Christian hip hop to Swerve. I even seen you being in your marriage and the growth from that and everything. So I know everything you're saying is true, and that's what tonight is about. Tonight is about positively highlighting what people are doing in the community, whether it be from, hey, I'm doing Legal Shield and I'm helping people, escape identity fraud, handle things on legal issues that most people really just don't really take seriously until something happens to them or until something's about to happen to them. Then they want to jump in it right then. Even with the Levi Long Sickle Cell Association, people like me, I'm oblivious to the whole thing. That's why I ask the questions I ask about what sickle cell is, what are the symptoms, because there are plenty of people, just because people feel like just because they don't deal with something or that's not their situation, they don't have to know. But you don't know. Your best friend could be dealing with it and you not know it. You guys know somebody with sickle cell is dealing with it and you could never know. But in knowing the information, you can be more of a benefit and help to them. And with you, Anthony, with Swerve Radio and what you do for the youth, I commend that a lot, because my career is based off working with youth. And, I got a real heavy heart for that and everything. So having you guys on here, even though it may seem like little pieces, it all comes together to make this big puzzle where we're all trying to be a positive impact in the community. So let me ask you, now I got all 3 of you on here, and we talked about everything you guys do. I'm going to ask you guys certain questions, and I want you guys to answer individually. What is one of the biggest impacts with your corporation, with your radios, association, that you think you've made in the community since you started doing what you've done? And we can start with Miss Kiana. I always ladies first on conversations. Always ladies first.
So for me, it's educating and giving information to people that do not know what sickle cell is. So in the community, and actually Miss Angie B, her daughter just told me, because I educated her in one of the events I went to, when she had a speaker that came to her fulfill her job, they were talking about sickle cell, not thinking anyone knew anything about it. She was able to give her information that I shared, and the lady was like, "Oh my goodness, yes, you know." So for me, it's educating and giving information to our community where they do not know.
Okay. Mr. Duckworth, what about you?
I would have to say the promotion of getting that will done, right? My aunt, of course, I talked to my whole family about the services and that kind of thing, right? And I talked to my aunt one more time. I was like, let me shoot my shot. Let me try one more time. She said, boy, I know about that thing. I don't need that thing. I'm all good. I said, Auntie, I just want you to get your will done. She said, wait, you can get your will done? I said, why do you think I was talking to you? She said, well, I didn't know. I said, it's okay. She said it was a, if I remember correctly, it was either Thursday or Friday, right? She said, well, let's get together on Monday. Family right here in Jacksonville, where I live. I got a call late night, and her sister, my other aunt, called me. And I said, what's going on? She was in an auto accident with a drunk driver. Now, there's some controversy on whether she could have been saved or not. So I ain't going to go there tonight because I don't want to get emotional.
Understood.
But the point is that Monday did not come around. We didn't get a chance to have a conversation on Monday, right? And so I'm thinking to myself, am I really even pushing hard enough? And I said, I don't want that to happen to me nor anybody else, right? And when we try to work the things out without a will done, it just what should have took a week and a half turned into 3 weeks, almost 4. All because of that document. There are trusts out there, and there's reasons for it. I'm not going to go into it tonight. I'm not an attorney. I'm not here to educate you. You need to learn stuff, right? But the reality is, that's my impact and my legacy I want to leave. I am tired of us losing stuff that we should have easy access to, and it's no reason not when you can when we just made it affordable. So that's my impact I plan to leave on this earth.
Got you. Yeah. That's good stuff. Good stuff. What about you, Anthony? Swerve Raider, what's the biggest impact you think you made, or most memorable impact? I should say.
I'm going to say, I mean, there's 2 really. There was one where we did a concert and event, and we have always been really easy on the ears when we're going to events to make sure that we're hearing what the Lord has to say. So we were going with our playlist. You know what I'm saying, T-Horne. You're going with your playlist. We're going to do this many songs, whatever. But we've always been yielded to God so that He can throw an audible whenever. And we had an event. We had like 12 songs, and the Lord was like, "There's somebody here that's ready to commit suicide. If you don't give the call, if you don't recognize that, they're going to leave here. They're going to die." And we scrapped our set and was able to speak into the atmosphere. And that lady came forward and was able to pray with her, and she got saved that night, and still in contact with her till this day. And that was years ago, But and the other thing, just moving forward, is just being in radio, being in youth ministry, being in men's ministry, is just hearing and seeing the confirmations of men, women, teens. That's just saying yes to life, yes to choosing to accept who they are, to know who they are, to live on the other side of doubt and defeat. It just does me well that the Lord would choose to use somebody like me to be able to speak into the airwaves. Never take those moments for granted. When you have access to somebody's life, when someone lets you in like that, don't take that stuff for granted. You may be the only salvation or Jesus that people are going to see. And so when you have that access, take that serious and listen. Don't talk to respond or react. Talk to listen. So if you're asking somebody, hey, how you doing? Listen for the answers, because and that's the thing about teens. Teens will talk if you let them. They have a voice. Love their swag. Love where they are. Don't be so quick to try to get them to pull your pants up. Nah, love them where they are, and then love them to Jesus. So the biggest impact I can say, man, is just seeing lives being changed and turned around. If I don't get to do anything else in life, that's enough for me.
So listening to you 3 guys, I ain't gonna lie, I'm inspired. I really inspired, because from listening to Kiana, I can see the importance of not just letting people know about the whole sickle cell thing and stuff like that, but just the whole importance of people being educated on what they don't know. You have to be educated on certain things, because what you don't know can kill you. What you don't know can hurt you. What you don't know can put you in bad situations. And there's a whole point of being educated, whether it be with things like diseases, or I'm going to even take it deeper, your history, or just knowing how to deal with certain situations makes a big impact. So education, I thank you for bringing up that positive impact with the whole thing of educating, because people don't understand how important being educated is. With Terrell, that whole push of, I'm not saying you were being lax days ago with the situation, but you don't know how much time you got. You don't know what's changed. Tomorrow's not promised. Pushing towards doing what you're supposed to do and making sure people are taken care of and making sure your affairs are taken care of is important also, because like you said, that Monday never came. That Monday, if those things were handled before, the situation could have had a better outcome overall. Would it have been for her, would it have been for her family, things like that. So that whole thing about pushing and make sure you take care of things in the time needs to be take care of, and not putting things off, being last days goes a big thing. And with Anthony, you said something that was very, very big to me. Being able to listen and being open. Like you said, sometimes you may be the only Jesus people may be able to see. So you have to have an open mind, an open heart to be able to listen, because you don't know how simple listening and being able to give that advice and everything that's needed, how much of an impact that can make. And like I said, that's the whole point of me wanting to bring you guys on. I do this topic every couple of weeks, every couple of months. I do positive highlights. It's not just to bring awareness about what people have going on, but it's also to show the passion you guys have in what you do, why you do what you do, and the impact is being made, in hopes that not only will it get your information out, but it will inspire people to do better with the things they're doing and actually try to make an impact and touch people of this world. So I want to say I appreciate all three of you guys coming on tonight. I know a lot of things were last minute, throw together anything, but when it all came together, it worked. And I appreciate you guys for all being on the show. So we got a couple minutes left before we have to go ahead and everything. If we could, for anybody watching, could you guys tell us a little information about, how to get in contact with you, how to support you, and your social media information one more time. Ms. Kiana, can you start, please? I guess not.
Oh, she's coming back. She's coming back. Look, the same thing happened to me. It kicked me out for 30 seconds. I was like, what? No.
Well, while she's logging back on, Terrell, can you get some information about how they can get in contact with you? I see you got your number for them to call you and stuff.
Okay, she keep leaving coming. Okay, I'm gonna say it real quick. Yes. Okay. So my number's at the bottom of the screen: 757-344-5496, or you can catch me through my email, duckworth29@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm the only crazy person to put their full name, Terrell Levon Duckworth. You go on Facebook, you're going to find me. I ain't trying to hide, so you can come get me, right? And I just want to say this thing in closing. I was going to turn on to Kiana to share a testimony. She was actually going to share, but if she come back, she come back. But if you own a business, right? I didn't mention this, but if you own a business, we have things for you too, right? Because we want you to stay in business. We don't want you to make a mistake. So with that being said, I think Kiana's coming back. There she is. There's that smile. Okay, Kiana. Sorry, I was trying to tell them you had a testimony to share too, along with your closing remarks about sickle cell. So I'm gonna turn it over back to you, T.
Okay, go ahead, Kiana. Go ahead and give your spill, because we only got like 2 minutes left. So go ahead.
I'll just take 30 seconds. So I did meet Mr. Terrell at one of the events, and I went ahead and I took a part of Legal Shield myself, because it's a big thing with sickle cell clients. They are very mistreated and they're taken advantage of in the hospitals. So with me taking advantage of the Legal Shield concept, I won in this race. I was partnered with an NFL organization, and something occurred where they didn't want to give me my money. When I took on with Legal Shield, all I did was say, let me get my attorney involved, and they gave me all my money. So I can really say, in reference to sickle cell and Legal Shield, it goes hand in hand, and I'm proud to be a Legal Shield representative as well, to say it does work.
Okay, good stuff. So for the second time, Anthony, you go ahead and give out your information about Swerve Radio, how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, you can just look up everything at Swerve Teen Talk Radio. You can Google it. It's on Spotify. We got playlists and everything, music, the shows. It's 2-hour shows with music and conversations with teens. So just Google and look up everything Swerve Teen Talk Radio. Okay,
good stuff. With that being said, guys, this has been Conversation with T-Horne da Uncool. It's been a little unorthodox show, but it all came together in the end to the glory of God and everything. I want to thank my guests for being on tonight. Next week, we're going to have an awesome show. Going to promote for us. You guys be ready and everything. But like I said, I thank you guys for being on. Let's promote positive energy. And to everybody who watched, thank you. And remember, be blessed and be uncool.
All right.
Peace.
Thanks, T-Horne.
Thank you, brother. God bless.
Don't judge me until you know me. Don't underestimate me until you challenge me. And don't talk about me until you talk to me. Or better yet, mind your business and stop minding mine.
Yeah, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talking, then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talking, then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh, my name coming out must taste good if you keep it in your mouth. That's something must for you if you go down south. I'm just playing. What the heck you talking about, huh? Why you worry about who I wanna date, huh? Why I'm the main course on your plate, huh? Why everything concerning to me gotta turn to be argument or debate, huh? Is he a Christian religion? Has he forsaken? He just was dating her. How many women he dating? Had another kid? That nigga don't know when to stop. I heard he smoking, getting high. Boy, that fell from the top. See what I learned. This your concern. This is all about me. Y'all gossiping made me look at y'all like female dolls in heat. But let's make something concrete. I'm seasoned, yes indeed. Y'all must like the recipe, cause y'all all on my meat. Yeah, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talking, then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talking, then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh, haters try to diss me, they love me, but they dismiss me. Play hard, but acting sissy. They lies be so convincing, and exes get jealous quickly. They won't admit that they miss me. They hate that I moved on, so use my children against me just to keep up the talk. People peep on my wall, just to keep tabs of my flaws, just to keep me afar. Doing everything they ask me, but that ain't enough. I'm on everybody's tongue, and everybody on my jump. His rap career won't take off. That nigga ain't hard, he really soft. Try to see his page, but I'm blocked. He was living for Jesus, then he stopped. He get girls just to knock him off. He lie, the truth ain't what he taught. I be so close to popping off, but then I realize I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talking, then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh, I'm the topic of conversation. Circles talk about me. Yeah, I'm in rotation. I'm the one they talking, then they gossip about. Now it's so hard for them to keep my name out their mouth. Oh,
My whole life, I lived it based off of other people's opinions. They judge what I do, what I say, how I think, and I judge my whole life based off their interpretations. But now I got to the point where I realize my life is my own. I'm the only one that can live it. So, if you got an opinion, keep it to yourself. Come and live how I see fit.
I'm the topic of conversations. Yeah, I'm in rotation. Gossip about. Keep my name out their mouth. Oh.